I guess it's December 30th, 2303. And good morning and good afternoon for those of you elsewhere in the world. We are getting ready for the onslaught of the next onslaught of the Thargoid, whatever form that may take. We have switched ships and are now back in our battleship, which is the battle and trade ship, actually, combination. The FNS Quantica, which is also serving the purpose of building cache at the moment, I guess, and ferrying cargo that we've recovered to various destinations where it's likely to have value. Our next target is actually a pilgrimage to the Sol system, where we hope to sell off the last remnants of cargo from our recent exploration endeavor out to the far reaches of the Sagittarius arm. And then we're looking at switching gears and going and looking for Thargoid's sensor fragments, which are required to complete the mission for Professor Palin and getting access to anti-Thargoid technology, which will prove beneficial in forthcoming battles. By that point, hopefully, we'll be ready to upgrade to an Anaconda. We actually have the cash to do that now, but this particular vessel might be better suited for a variety of purposes. Plus, I'm not really ready yet to get rid of my exploration craft, and its sale is likely going to have to help fund the crossover, at least, if not the outright purchase of the Anaconda, which I think we can afford with combined cash on hand and sale of the Python. We will need probably to sell the Asp Explorer in order to get equipment for the Anaconda and to lay it out fully the way we would like it. And at that point, we will have one ship in our fleet once again. I don't foresee us needing to do any huge exploration missions, but the Anaconda is also reputed to have a longer jump range than the Python. We'll find out if that's true. A little bit more research to answer a few of these questions before we actually complete the upgrade as well. So, for now, we'll be sticking with the Python until those questions are answered. This is AR-004 in my fleet. FNS Quantica, a Python-class vessel rated at, well over 100 million credits, closing on 120 million credits, I think, worth of value. We're at Patterson Enterprise, currently. The Sol system is one jump away. Sirius, of course, is a star. It's very close to Earth anyway, in the stellar neighborhood. It's right there, actually. We'll lay in a course now. Epsilon Aradni, Procyon, Wolf 359, Alpha Centauri, Barnard Star, Ross 154, which is, I believe, where Merlin is located. It's one of the start points in Elite 2 Frontiers, one of the predecessor games to this one. Also, I was just wanted to mention, I just recently watched Commander Platter's earlier message today. He posted a video to YouTube, and in which he laid out the question. He was talking about a recent discovery of an ancient, well, an aging ship, part of the old Horizon missions sorry, the whole Equinox missions that were jointly launched by the Federation Empire against the Thargoids, which could have been part of the conspiracy that triggered hostilities between Thargoids and humanity. He asked the question, and so did many people from that vessel, research vessel. Where did the Thargoids come from? Well, and where did they go in 3302 when the First War was over with? Well, if you notice in the background here, I've said this before, but I'm going to talk about it again just at the beginning of this video to sort of draw attention to it. Look what we have over here. You may have seen these in the background before and wondered what they were. Well, these are two satellite galaxies. They're galaxies that are gravitationally linked to ours, the Milky Way galaxy, which you'll see depicted there. I thought about creating a PowerPoint presentation using Celestia or something to illustrate this point, but notwithstanding the fact that we cannot go down, cannot access any sectors in the LMC, SMC areas, the Large Magellanic Cloud and Small Magellanic Cloud. I'll let you guess which one is which there. I think it's fairly obvious. These two galaxies are where at some point someone had revealed to me where the Thargoids had come from. I don't know if that's actually true. I can't source it or be credible about it. But my own personal view, for whatever it's worth, is that the information I had was credible at the time. It seemed credible at the time, although I can't remember again where it came from. And I think this is where the Thargoids may come from. One of these two bodies, probably on the right side, the LMC, just by favoring the odds. And if it is the LMC that they retreated to in 3302, because no trace was found of the Thargoids following the humanity's victory in that war, well, begs the question, how did they get there? And if that's, again, if it's true, we may be looking at evidence that the Thargoids have intergalactic hyperdrive technology. And someone should be looking into that possibility, I think. More specifically, if we can, at any of the bases or any of the or perhaps the ancient ruins might prove helpful here in identifying intergalactic hyperdrive technology. This would be technology that would allow us to jump extra long distances, like thousands of light years in a single shot, from one point in the galaxy to another. Now, because hyperdrive jumps, or hyperjump technology, is definitely based, at least in part, on having a gravity well-free zone from one point to another. It's one of the reasons that stars end up getting used to well, when you jump into a system, you jump close to a star. You may need that, in fact, to facilitate the termination of a jump accurately into a star system. An intergalactic hyperdrive, similarly, would jump you into proximity somewhere just outside the gravity wells inside of a galaxy. So you wouldn't be necessarily colliding with stars and whatnot. Not that that's ever really a risk in hyperdrive anyway. You can have stars between one location and another in hyperdrive, and ever have done a neutron star jump or done an exceptionally long jump, you'll know that you can't just materialize inside of a star or have your jump trajectory intersect a star's path and have it ruin your jump. Perhaps intergalactic hyperdrive technology could dump you off somewhere at a desired point or near a desired point within a star's gravity well within the a neighboring galaxy like the LMC. Getting a jump drive to work, I mean, these galaxies are at least 150,000 light years outside of the Milky Way. So getting something to jump that far, while difficult sounding, and certainly it would be initially, the next nearest galaxies of scale along the lines of the Milky Way galaxy itself would be something like, well, this one over here. What you're looking at over here is the galaxy called Andromeda. It's on a collision course with ours, of course. Many people are aware of that. That's near the, just above where my targeting reticle is. That one is I think it's 1.1 million light years away. Currently, it will take tens of millions of years to intersect our own, but it's on a collision course either way. Either tens or hundreds of millions, I'm not sure which that is. But at any rate, it's on a collision course. And the third nearest would be a galaxy called Triangulum, and I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that that's this one here, just above the targeting reticle. And it's about 3 million light years away. 2.7 to 3.1, something like that. Long ways away. Lot more than 150,000 light years. So any hope of ever entering those galaxies is dependent on us actually developing the capacity to jump to the satellite galaxies. There are other satellite galaxies neighboring ours. I don't see them necessarily reflected. One is the there is a Sagittarius dwarf. It should be over here somewhere, but I don't see it anywhere. Now, the program, the software, freely downloadable, called Celestia, will give you a picture of, we have the stars inside both of these galaxies totally mapped. We know where they are, we know how many of them there are, and they've been plotted. Because they're outside the galaxy and not obstructed by clouds of debris the way our own galaxy is. Also, our galaxy is quite a bit larger than any of these ones. There's probably a few million stars inside of the SMC down here. And the Sagittarius dwarf also probably has somewhere between 800,000 and 1.5 million stars, they figure, in it. Considerably smaller than the galaxy we call home, which of course in elite terms we know exactly the number is over 400 million stars. So they'd be adding, from a software perspective, they would be adding another million or so stars per galaxy to add those two down there. And I would like to see them add the other dwarf galaxies in here as well, but they have chosen not to do so quite yet for some reason. They're not reflected in the map. At any rate, this is where the Thargoids likely are, and I say that partly because they're visible, partly because they seem to be part of the game environment, almost. Perhaps the intergalactic hyperdrive is technology that is forthcoming, but we might be able to get there just a little quicker if we pull our knowledge on the Thargoids and or the ancients who have ruins scattered about our quadrant of the galaxy. Finding out a little bit more about them might yield some interesting answers. So I posit that in the wake of Platter's recent video, and hopefully we hear more about that from him or other players in the weeks ahead, because I think it's critical that for us, in order to deal with the Thargoid menace finally and fully, we're going to have to go over here. Take the battle to the enemy, as they say. Except the solution might not be necessarily a battle. Perhaps it's something a little bit more subtle. I wouldn't go so far as to say diplomacy is going to be the answer here, although it probably wouldn't hurt. But I don't think the Empire and the Federation is going to, especially with Hudson being president. I don't see that as being all that likely. By the way, when is the next Federation election? Anyway, it's supposed to be a democracy, right? As for the Duval family, I don't know what their position is on this. They probably aren't necessarily all that keen on engaging in diplomacy with the Thargoids right now. But I'm not a subject of the Empire, or a citizen. I'm not sure what they call it. I think of them as subjects, but maybe they are citizens. I don't know. And yes, for those of you from Great Britain, I suspect you'll find there is a difference. At any rate. Let's begin our game tonight. Verify course plot. Negative course plot. Ah yes, the lung system. Okay, on their way to Earth.
Caller disconnected.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello. How you doing?
Hey, what's up? Who this?
We spoke the other day. You were telling me all about, I was out in the boonies of the Sagittarius Gap of the galaxy on the exploration mission. And then we spoke briefly about the research organization that you belong to. I think you're from Great Britain, I'm not sure. Does that ring any bells?
No, I'm not from Great Britain.
What's that?
I'm U.S.
You're US. Okay, well I'm pretty sure you're part of the friends group, so you must have been at least part of my, you were probably watching gameplay. I was exploring out in the Sagittarius Gap. About 3,000 light years.
Oh, yeah.
About 3,000 light years out from Seoul. I'm back at Seoul now anyway. Or back at Sirius
Oh,
anyway.
thank God.
Yeah, made it all the way back, finished the mission, and picked up my Python, and now I'm trying to get an Anaconda. So.
There you go. There you go. Come on, buddy. You got this.
Yeah, well, I got the money. I just want to make sure I can outfit it properly. So, did you have? You mentioned you might have an Anaconda yourself, right?
I'll get you a build right now. Give me a second.
Okay.
What are you looking for? Combat Honda, exploration Honda. What are you looking for?
I'm actually looking for a traditional trade combat layout, ideally.
Okay. All right, I got you.
I need to do both trade and layout while we're waiting for the sun.
Ship is disengaged from landing pad. Take care when leaving the station.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, I'll get you one. Give me a second here.
And by trade, I mean like lots of money trade, like passengers probably are the easiest thing to do, but... Whoa! Speaking of condos, I'm just leaving a Sirius base right now, and there's a condo going in. So, what's your involvement in the Thargoid struggle here? Or do you have one?
Well, I mean, I haven't... as someone who, like... See, for me, it's like, I don't want to attack them, because I was kind of one of the first people who saw them.
Yeah, I don't really want to attack them either. I'm not on side with either the Empire or the Federation for this reason, is that I won't pick a faction with either one because there's philosophical problems, at least in game philosophy, with them just attacking the Thargoids outright, not making any effort whatsoever to like find another answer.
You've now exceeded the no-fire zone.
Yeah, no, this is the problem that I've been having, and it's like something that hit home for me because I was one of the people who first helped find them, right? So it's like at this point I don't care who's out there. I just don't want people attacking them because they're not attacking anyone.
No.
And they're destroying stations now because they're angry. It's been enough. Like people wonder, oh, why are they attacking now? And it's like, okay, everyone's been attacking every single thing they have. Why are they now going and doing this?
Right.
Right. But I'm building you the Anaconda right now, and I'll make it. I'll get the. Let me see here. So, let me see if I can hook you up with max jump range. So.
Yeah.
7, 6.
What is max jump range in something like the Anaconda? Is it like, are we talking 20?
Edit your. I'll send you the build here, but if you go to engineers to Felicity Farseer, you can get your Anaconda up to 60 to 70. It's the ship with the highest jump range in the entire game.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because I've been thinking, okay, I've got this Python, and, you know, the Python, laid out as I've got it, it only goes like 20 light years, which isn't...
That's what most ships top out.
Yeah, most ships top out there. I mean, when I went on that exploration mission, I had the Asp Explorer for exactly this reason. But I came back, of course, I got my millions. I got 18 million from the passengers I was carrying. I got another 40 million from sensor data.
How long did that take you?
That took me just over 2.5 weeks to go there and back.
Okay.
So I had maximum jump distance there with laid out as it was. Again, I had to carry passenger cabins, but I had 22 light years. So I was 8 light years off my maximum I've ever seen with a with a NASA Explorer. I thought that was pretty good, which it was, as long as I stuck to the neutron highway. I was able, which I did on the way back. I was able to clear all 3,000 light. I was able to clear nearly 6,000 light years off in about 8 days. Which was,
all right, sweet.
Which
Yeah,
I thought was doing pretty good.
No, that is pretty good. Let me see. I'm trying to see here what.
Not the best, of course, but I mean it's not like unheard of.
Not bad. It's not really
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
Are you going to use this to fight Thargoids?
I will use my policy with Thargoids is I'll defend if attacked, but my not hunting them. I will save human lives if they are innocent, so I won't engage in battle operations with the Federation or the Empire. But I will defend star bases if they contain innocents on board. And I will also rescue people. That's about as far as I'm willing to go.
Alright, so let's see here. Max jump range on this Anaconda right now is 35 light years. So let me get that higher.
Okay. In fact, I should mention, before you get too far into this, that I am looking for anti-Thargoid technology right now, but again, only as a means of defense. And only...
in case you get attacked.
Yeah, in case I get attacked, and only as a means of preparation, not as a means of going and you know, I'm not going to join the big bad Thargoid hunter or anything like that. I'm just not on with that. I don't agree with the Duval. The Duval family is involved in the conspiracy, I'm sure of it. And as for Hudson, I've never agreed with him. He's like the Trump of the current era. Very warlike, hawk-like type of president, so I'm not very pro-Hudson. Actually, I don't know what the shadow president, what her policy is. Well, you're pro-Trump, my goodness. Don't see many people willing to admit that anymore. Good for you. Well, that would make sense. There's lots of people who engage in immigration lawfully that here in Canada, where I live, and they feel it's a little bit unfair to just let people. Right now, we're having an issue with Americans crossing the border into Canada. Large numbers of them who are fearing that they'll be deported under the Trump administration, and. Yeah, I mean, it is a crime. Canada has very, very... The people of Canada tend to be daughters or great-granddaughters or great-great-granddaughters and grandsons of immigrants. So, and this comes from an era back when there were no quotas, there were no laws that stopped you. In fact, the government was trying to recruit immigrants as late as 1890. To come live and settle in Canada, so it's been a bit of a convulsive shift, because in the last 70 years things have turned around completely. Where now we feel like we have to limit our count, but 70 years ago, like not even a century ago, it was the exact opposite. You had to go out and recruit immigrants to come live in your country. Here in Canada, that was a priority. So. The views of the people have tended to be tempered by that, and as a result, the attitudes of Canadians are, yeah, well, we want them to obey the law. Of course, everyone who comes here should should do two things: obey the law and leave whatever conflicts you had before you got here behind you in whatever parent country you come from. And that's been the view of the people for a very long time. That's their tradition. But like I said, things have changed. Now there are rules. Canada has become somewhat restrictive. Even with American citizens who want to live in Canada, they may have to wait years in order to get their spot. And you know, Canadians moving south to the United States, depending on your profession, you don't have to wait that long. I'm a software developer, so I mean, I know exactly how people are. If you don't have a criminal record and you want to move south, and by criminal record I mean any kind of criminal record, the Americans will be very, they'll go through it with a fine-tooth comb. And if they find any evidence of a crime, any whatsoever, they will not let you in, even to visit. So they are very restrictive. But Canada is even more so from an American perspective, from what I'm told. So again, a bit of difference. There have been many changes since then. But I mean, you play a game like this, like Elite, and you find out, well, gee, you know, once again, you got Colonia scrambling to get immigrants out there, and it's more the pioneering type of scenario that was prevalent that's been prevalent on this planet really for the bulk of its history, where countries have not restricted immigration and movement. Only now does it become relevant because people are worried about their economies and about the capacity of the economy to absorb immigrants, and not getting too many immigrants from one region concentrating in one place and bringing old conflicts to roost in a given area and whatnot. Things we didn't have to worry about before. So there's still debate going on as to what our policies should be here, but we do have a refugee policy. People can file as refugees, and we're very generous with that when it comes to not as generous as perhaps Germany's had to be of necessity in the last year, but yeah, it has been. I don't know. I hope it goes back the other way. I'd like to see eventually at some point in the future, I'd like to see Earth as being sort of a paradise for humanity, where it doesn't really matter where you live, nor what country you're a part of or anything, because we'll have a world federal government at some point down the road. I don't know how many years it'll take, but at some point. And where it will be a human being's right to go wherever you want to on this planet. But we're just not there yet. But someday we will be, I suspect. I hope so.
Cannot comply. Landing gear retracted.
Of course, I'm talking like a Canadian,
Frameshift
right?
drive
So.
charging.
Canada has no policies that are in conflict with the rest of the world.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Even where Aboriginal population is concerned, perhaps the things that we're least popular for, we're making every effort we can, so. Okay, I'm in the solar system again, and I'm headed for the planet of choice for humanity. You know where I have not been in this game, which you might have been, is Akinar, the Imperial capital. There was a permit system that was prevalent in, what was it, Elite 2 Frontier, one of the predecessor games. And that was back years and years ago. Whoops. There we are. And I didn't initially have a permit, but then I got one. And I finally saw what it was like, and it seemed like it was pretty decadent. I mean, what do you expect? It's the Empire. But I'd like to see what it looks like in this game. Don't suppose you've made your way down to Akinar at any point, eh? Just docking at Abraham Lincoln Station in orbit of Earth. Closing. Good God, the system is full of people today. There's 1, 2, 3 commanders on my sensor screen right now, all visiting the Sol system. Mikhail Gorbachev Station. They said you're an immigrant. Which country did you immigrate from? Cuba! Outstanding. There's a country I want to visit desperately. I think it might be cheaper to visit than some of the other Caribbean countries. No? Expensive, is it? They take your stuff. Yeah, well, they do in all the countries. They did in Mexico, too, when I was there. They took it pretty readily. But I had a friend who visited Cuba. I don't know what his deal was, though, if he got, like, special rate or something. Well, that's why it helps probably to know people in Cuba. My girlfriend of several years ago, she visited the island of St. Vincent. She has a personal friend there. She was able to go there for next to nothing. I'm thinking how envious I was, given the expense of my trip to Mexico. We are at Abraham Lincoln Station.
DeLacy, Tango, Romeo, India, FFC channel open. Submit a request if you wish to dock at this facility, Commander.
Requesting docking. Docking requested engaged.
You're on track, Commander. Approach looks good. Approved for access. Proceed to landing pad 07. Acknowledged, Commander. Clear for assisted docking.
We are docked at Earth. I really hope they don't wait too long here to bring up the
Solid contact. Dispatching ground.
surface features.
Welcome to the station, Commander.
The atmosphere like Earth. Hopefully you can do what you used to be able to do in Elite 2 Frontier, which was you could land at various cities on Earth, like New York and Los Angeles, and I don't know if you were allowed to go to Toronto, if they had any Canadian cities in there, but they had a few American cities in there, and some European cities, and a couple of cities in the Orient. Okay. I'm here to sell some cargo. How are you sending that build, by the way? If you were going to send me something, just out of curiosity. Sure, no problem. I'll wait. No problem. Just let me know when you're ready. Ooh, I can buy a beluga liner if I want. Just 84 million credits.
Checked your bay number? Check again. Unauthorized loitering may trigger a lethal response.
That's better. Okay, so now No. North America Nebula and the Pelican Nebula. No, I don't think we're going to want those. Wow. Of course, they pass fairly close to Yumbo. If I can find a way to make the Python go through use a white dwarf star, which I have not been able to do before. Neutron stars are no problem, but white dwarf stars are quite another matter. DA class, and Mod 86 is another DA class. And I have no idea how I'd make this one for the Python. Tempted to try to wing up with Commander Universe, even though he's on the phone. But I'd have to travel quite some ways. Hold on, 21185. No. Oh, messages. Well, if you want to send a build, oh really? Yeah, I could. That'll take probably about 10 minutes to jump out there. If you got time, then I'll take a look at it. But one thing I want to do on the route is upgrade my vessel hull. Because I probably won't buy an Anaconda just right away. I want to look at a build or two first, but I do want to upgrade. Money spent on the hull will be played later. So let's have a look at this page. I'm just going to take a quick digression here and look at the web for equipment, really dangerous equipment. What was built to armor, lightweight, reinforced, military-grade composite alloy, Python class. We are at station in Salt. No. SOL. Go. Save. O'Brien Vision in this Sirius system is the closest at 8.59 light years. And that is where we will go. Computer launch.
Ensure you complete all searches. The time
8 light years is a tiny jump. It seems a lot tinier once you've jumped 6,000.
Clear the landing pad. You may leave when ready.
Just collided with the station on the way out. Okay, serious, please.
Federal flight control now offline. Till next time, Commander.
Well, I'm at Earth, and you know what? I see Cuba on my screen. Cuba on my screen, I should say. It's a bright sunny day over Cuba today. Locking on, jumping.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yep. Target part of the system is 9,000 light seconds away. $8,000 light seconds and falling. Mark. $7,000 light seconds. $6,000. Still gaining speed, now crossing 100C. 5,000 light seconds and closing. $4,000 mark. 3000, within visual range. From the star and planet. 2000 light seconds. Mark. Approaching White Dwarf. Now under 1,700. 600. 500. 400. 300. 200. Slowing engines, firing retro. Passing White Dwarf at 20 light seconds. Seven light seconds, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point 5. Firing retros. 0.25. Passing planet Lucifer. 2,000 kilometers. 1,500. 1,000 kilometers. Sorry, that was in now 700 kilometers. 159 kilometers. 8 kilometers. Dropping under MTL.
Boarding permission denied. Flight assist off. Boarding permission denied.
Denied docking permission for some reason.
Boarding permission granted.
Granted boarding permission.
Flight assist on. Landing gear deployed. Engines disengaged.
For opening section. Purchasing armor. Don't know why I waited so long to get armor of this type, but I think it's overdue. Holy shit. Excuse my language, but military grade composite armor would cost 51 million credits. I only have 42 on hand. However, I can double my hull points by purchasing reinforced alloy, so that's what we'll do. Not a problem, no impact to mass, no impact to distance. And now I have twice the number of hull points I get. Oh, that's wonderful. Launching.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
So let's just go over here to this white dwarf and take another stab at the impossible. I have never had a white dwarf supercharge my engines before. But I'm certainly
Cannot comply. Landing gear retracted. Frameshift drive charging.
I'm certainly no stranger to using stars
4, 3, 2,
as
1.
the source of
Engage.
supercharge. Currently 24 light seconds from Sirius B. And here we go. Now 20 light seconds in closing, very fast. 2.5 light seconds. This is as close as we want to get to this thing.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
FSB warning coming up.
Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Warning, frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits.
Nope. I just cannot get the star to work. Okay, whatever. This little bastard is engaging in combat right now. I'm taking on a vulture, rated competent.
Hull integrity compromised. Scan detected. Frameshift charge detected. Warning, temperature critical.
He escaped. And I have no weight scanner. To analyze his hyperspace cloud with.
Heat sink deployed. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
She ran. Okay, heading for Yembo.
Frameshift drive charging.
Jumping.
Four, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Frameshift drive charging. Four, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Frameshift drive charging. Four, 3, 2, 1. Engage. Frameshift drive charging. Four, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Now Wolf 867.
Frameshift drive charging. Four, 3, 2, 1, engage.
If you're still there, you said get 500 million credits together before buying the Conda. Are you sure about that? Or should it be more of a gradual process?
Frameshift drive charging. Four, 3, 2, 1, engage. Frameshift drive charging. Four, 3, 2, 1, engage. Frameshift drive charging.
You've got a Coriolis station there. That's good. Okay. Course set.
Frameshift drive charging.
Well, according to this, there's a base in Yembo, which I'm going to need to refuel, so... And you've declined a wing invite, so
4,
I imagine you have a
3,
reason for that.
2, 1. Engage.
If you prefer to invite me to a wing, go ahead, I'm almost there. Now 5 light years out.
Frameshift drive charging.
Jumping into system.
Four, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Jumping to system complete. Heading for Coriolis Station, Nadur Terminal. The Dodu Terminal. Arriving in 15 seconds. Five seconds to arrive. Arriving now less than 1 light second away. Entering terminal proximity. Past the station accidentally. Approach too quickly. 3,000 kilometers away. 2,000, 1,500, 1,000.
Tango, Romeo, India. Please ensure you follow standard docking procedures before landing. Permission authorized. Please head directly for Bay 30. Automated docking initiated.
Okay, you've been spotted.
Landing gear deployed. hull repaired.
Goslerite. No, I'm not taking a criminal award. Well, I can get 300,000 off passenger missions. I am not taking this criminal. What is with this? Is this a criminal empire running this thing? So I got to run here. I'll page you next time to see if you're available to ring up again. Thanks for the info. We'll talk to you again some other time. Take care.
Thank you, and enjoy your stay.
Papa India Kilo to flight control. Prepping for departure. Acknowledge.
And this is Commander Trium. I'll be signing off now for the evening. Thanks for watching once again. Didn't work out with the wing attempt fellow that I met while I was exploring. Didn't even remember to remember who I was exactly, but that's okay. I'll try him again another time. So this is Commander Trium signing off for now, and thanks so much for your continued patronage on the YouTube's App Refactory channel, where you can subscribe to these videos, ongoing flight logs, and of course, special thanks once again to Frontier Developments. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, tomorrow is New Year's Eve, 3303, and elsewhere. Bye for now.